Yesterday, I experienced a massive disappointment, and it actually took me until midway through this morning to really start to get clear of it. And I still have little wisp of it, but in the process of this getting clear, I've understood that there's an immense creative value in disappointment, which is not really something which we would think is possible. The situation is that I had found or we, I should say, my partner and I had found the most wonderful place to live. We've moved out of London. We're in a place which is okay, but it has a couple of issues. And this place has everything. Right timing for us to move, uh, enough space, beautiful secluded garden, right location, okay price. We get down to the last two. We're waiting for the call all afternoon and we don't get it. And oh, my heart and hers absolutely sank, devastated. The first thing which I realized as I was experiencing this was that I could actually feel something. It wasn't a good feeling, but I could feel something in relation to this. And it showed me how much I cared about what I was involved in. You know, with the place that you live, particularly in a situation where it's really quite important to us at the moment, it just shows how much I care about it. There's nothing wrong with that. That's my humanness. That's my aliveness coming through. So disappointment as a first thing is a kind of signal that we care. And that's got to be a good thing. It also made me realize that I have habitual ways of reacting to disappointment. And in my case, the first thing is collapse, and then I go into sort of anger, and then back to collapse and anger, and it also starts to feed the stories I have about myself. Oh, why does this happen to me? What could we have done differently, etc., etc. All of that is built out of my old past patterns, and so if I can catch hold of myself, what I've got there is a real, in the moment opportunity to witness myself and the patterns that I have, how they come through me, how they affect my thinking, how they affect my emotional state, how they affect me in my body. So I get to see that as well. A third thing, which is so fascinating, is to then see how my creative process works in terms of vision and reactions. When we move into a creative moment, even if it's a very good one, very often what will happen is that some kind of reaction will come up. And the reaction will come up with the same shape as the shape that comes up with disappointment. It's the same reactive pattern. All these reactive patterns come up in similar ways, that even though the trigger is different, there are lots of similarities. So if we realize that we've had a kind of a reverse to our expression of ourselves, which is our creative process, this moving into our vision, then we get to see the dynamic between that vision and that reactive pattern. We see it in real time. And we can, as we do that, realize, if we have enough presence of mind, that this is always going to be coming up. Not that things are always not going to work out. I don't mean that, but that we are going to constantly have this moving towards what we really care about, moving into that vision, and then these obstacles, these reactions against it, and the reactions against those obstacles. So it's not that the disappointment goes away. And in fact, we don't want it to go away. I mean, obviously, we do want it to go away. We want it away now. We want the result we want. And at the same time, if we're able to be with it enough and stay with it and witness ourselves in it and explore it a little bit, it only serves to take us deeper into an understanding how we work creatively so that we can express more of what we really care about and create more of a life that we really care about. In this particular case, there wasn't any magic. They haven't turned around today and said, well, you did so well with your disappointment. Suddenly we're going to offer you this place. But I did investigate a bit the technicality, which was the problem. I ended up calling the estate agent, and he very kindly let us know that he is going to be contacting us ahead of putting properties out there because of the sort of the general standard that we are as a tenant. So, it's just a nice thing. It doesn't mean necessarily that this kind of good thing is going to happen, but it does mean that we can engage with it and perhaps create, just like I did by reaching out to the agent again, another opportunity because we have more of our creative agency on board. So there's the two things. I realize I'm going on a bit because another idea is coming. So there is this solving of the situation. We can actually approach the particular situation because we've managed our patterns better in the moment, and that can have an impact. And we also get a chance to work on the bigger process of how we express ourselves creatively at the same time, all through something not going our way.